Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome back to Total Football Talk. So we're going to look at all the latest news coming out of Manchester United, and it never ends. So we're going to look at the top headlines, and that is just Sir Jim Ratcliffe at the minute is the wages will be at the heart of Manchester United's summer planning. So we'll look at what Larry Whitwell has just been talking about very, very recently and how that will impact our summer transfer window. And I think it's got huge implications. We'll also look at the story that broke yesterday about Tyler Dibling and £100 million from Southampton. I would love to know what you good people think about that. £100 million for a Southampton player who's 19, who's barely played in the Premier League and is going to get relegated with Southampton. And obviously we know that there was 14 teams scouting Tyler Dibling at the under 19 game for Wales the other night, England v Wales. Obviously, a lot of clubs very interested in him. £100 million. It's madness, but I would love to hear what you guys think. We'll also look at United are now talking about being interested in Diogo Costa. Now, a very good goalkeeper, but we have come up against him this year in the Europa League, and he was very poor. I've seen him be poor in quite a few games this season in the Europa League. So he's a young goalkeeper from Portugal. We'll have a quick look at what's being said about him. We'll have a little bit on what Cheeto Obi Martin's under 21 Danish coach has been saying about his integration into the under 21 squad, which is interesting. Paul Parker's obviously had his say on Garnacho. There's been a little bit about Ugarte. He's been getting a little stick online, so we'll look at that. And we'll also look at Senne Lammens, who is a goalkeeper from Belgium, who Manchester United are looking at. I believe Manchester City are also interested in this young lad, and we will have a quick look at those players. Now, let's jump back into the top headline. But before I do, thank you very much for joining me. I'm Keith, the host of this little channel. If you guys are enjoying the content, absolutely fantastic, loving it, loving the fact the views are still amazingly going up. I'm tiny, so I'm a nobody. I totally get it. If you would like to subscribe and get involved with the comments, bottom right hand corner of the screen, a wee like on the way out, a wee like now would be absolutely, if I could get 10 likes in this video, I'd be over the moon. Okay, guys, let's look at the top story. And this is just coming out from Larry Whitwell. And what he's saying is the wage issue will be at the heart of Manchester United's transfer planning. The board are trying to exercise restraint with the new signings and is determined to ensure that those who are well paid are able to play regularly. United will want to avoid having large wages sidelined for an extended period of time. The club has made fitness a priority for their new signings. This follows Sir Jim Ratcliffe's statement that the wage bill of the players of the managers at the manager's disposal, excluding injured and loan players, was the equivalent of a mid-table team. What do we all think about that? What does that say to you? Because that says to me, it's kind of conflicting messages. I get the message that we have to have players that are paid a proper wage and that are fit and able to play. The best ability is availability, as they keep saying. We have a lot of players who are unavailable. Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, massive wages, unable to play. Lisandro Martinez is another one who's unfortunately kind of starting to fall into this bracket. We've had other players out for extended periods. Kobe Mainoo, who's currently looking for a new contract. And I believe actually there's good news on that. I believe that there is a way forward and that there is a good chance that Kobe will stay and he will get a contract that's reflective of what he is, what the club think he should be getting, and hopefully they can agree to terms on that, which will be excellent. But this just screams to me that we're paying mid-table wages. And we are currently we are below mid-table team. So how are we meant to get back to the top whenever Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal are going to be buying the best players, paying them the best wages? Now, we have obviously made mistakes, huge mistakes that have cost us financial, unsustainability. In recent past, Casemiro has been an absolute, he's cost an absolute fortune. We paid Marcus Rashford a fortune. He's now out on loan. Anthony a small fortune, 200k plus a week. He's out on loan. So we have brought in the wrong players. Our players have declined for one reason or another over a period of time, and they're on massive wages. Obviously, we will clear some of these wages off the summer transfer window, but this concerns me because this just says we're going to buy mid-range players and we're going to aim to try and keep up. Now, I'm not saying that we have to buy Manchester United is always and should always be a team looking to pick up the Ronaldos who are, we paid a lot of money for, ended up being an unbelievable player. Roy Keane, another one. We paid a lot of money for when he was a teenager, and our early 20s, sorry, and he became an unbelievable player. We've kind of done this throughout our history. Bought really good players with a load of potential. So I'm not saying that's what we shouldn't do. Dorgu is a very good example of that. He's raw. Mendes was the original, was the one that Amorim wanted, and you can see why when you see them play against Liverpool. He marked Mo Salah out of both games pretty much across the board. Mo Salah didn't get a sniff really. A little bit in the second game at Anfield, but you expect that they're at home. Mendes, unbelievable sort of attacking wing back, and I believe that they've seen the same qualities in Dorgu. Oh yeah, he's not as good, admittedly, but he is a bit younger, and he will hopefully get the time to improve as he gets older. So I've got no problem with looking at gems like Dorgu, but what just concerns me is, especially when you look at the striker situation, Gyökeres or a Osimhen or someone of that ilk who has got experience and is a very, very good striker. We need that. But yeah, we're maybe going to look in the kind of bargain basement aisle of Tesco to try and pick up a younger player on lower wages. And I don't know if that guarantees us success, or does that, I'm not even sure if that helps Rubin Amorim. So this statement is a concern. This statement screams to me that in the summer, we are only going to buy players of and I understand, let's bring the wage bill down. That's absolutely fine. No problem with that. But it is a concern that we're going to be operating in a mid-range market, and I don't know whether Rubin Amorim will get the time to bring mid-range players up into the standard that he needs to get to. Hopefully he can. I'm praying he does, but this is a concern going forward. Okay, moving on from that, we'll look at what this was a story doing the rounds yesterday. Tyler Dibling, Southampton want 100 million for him. What do we think? Where are we with the Tyler Dibling story? 100 million, is he worth it? Me, not a chance. 40 million, not even worth it. He's getting relegated with Southampton. He's an excellent player, but like every young player, and I haven't watched loads, but I've listened to some Southampton supporters talk about it, and as brilliant as he is, he has still had a mixed bag of a season, and he's going to get relegated with Southampton. So there's no way that they can. I think this is just them hiking the price up as much as possible. Maybe they will get in and around 40 million for him, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Now moving on to the Diogo Costa story, and so this is Diogo Costa has emerged as a potential target for Manchester United this summer, according to Give Me Sport. Sources from Portugal, from the Portuguese international, has long been on United's radar. And has a release clause written into his contract. I believe that release clause is kind of in around the 60 million euro mark. Now we'd have to get rid of Onana to bring in Diogo Costa. And news broke yesterday that Onana was only going to leave if he felt that Manchester United want to get rid of him. Now I do believe from what you're hearing and rumbles around the Old Trafford kind of around the club is that Rubin Amorim isn't massively keen on Onana as a goalkeeper. I think he likes his personality, but I don't think his goalkeeping is up to what Rubin Amorim wants. So I think he'll be told that he doesn't want to go, but I think he's stubborn, as we've seen already. He didn't play for Cameroon in the African Nations. He stuck around and made sure that he played and went out as late as possible. So I think that he is going to hold on to his contract and he's not going to go anywhere. And I think we're not going to be able to look at a goalkeeper like Diogo Costa, because there is another goalkeeper that we're being linked to, and that is this is a young goalkeeper from the Belgian league called Senne Lammens. Apologies, butchered that. Who is available for 2 million and is being considered by Manchester United as a replacement. Now, I don't think he'd be a replacement. I think he would come as backup to Andre Onana if he did come in. But as I said, Manchester City are looking at this young fella as well. So let's just keep an eye on that one, see if that story picks up and goes anywhere. So there was a little bit coming out about Garnacho and Paul Parker, which I just want to bring in. And Paul Parker on Garnacho, I liked him when he first came into the I liked him when he first came through, and he had that Argentinian fire in his belly, which he has lost completely. Well, I don't agree. He has let himself down and his family down. No, he hasn't. He has let his club down because he's now taking advantage of the talent. He's not taking advantage of the talent that he has. Well, when it comes to Paul Parker. Paul Parker was a defender, a right back, and he used to play as a sweeper back in the kind of early 90s for Manchester United. He was a very good player. He did a very good job. He won a couple of titles with United. Definitely not classified as a legend or anything like that. But I just don't get. This is unbelievably harsh. Talking about letting his family down. How did he let his family down? I don't understand that. Yes, he's been frustrating this season. Definitely not played to his full potential. Has been a little bit greedy, and I think since Rubin Amorim has moved him to the right wing, he's actually been a bit more direct, or not direct. Sorry, he's been a bit more creative. He has tried to find that pass. He has tried to put that cross in, and he has got the capability of coming in and scoring on his left foot because he's pretty good on his left foot. But I just think he has found his feet on the right a little bit. By no means I'm saying is he fully there yet. He's got a long way to go. Good player. But I just feel that we need to be careful with him. And Paul Parker came through with the likes of Nicky Butt, or he played alongside the likes of Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Nicky Butt. All those players would have been coming through the youth ranks. Ryan Giggs would have been in the first team with him. How would he have treated those kids coming through? How would he have liked an ex-pro talking about those kids coming through whenever he was playing in the team? I just think Paul Parker needs to be, just needs to have a look and check himself out and just relax a little bit. And hopefully Garnacho in time will prove us all wrong. Okay, so the next story is just a little bit on Cheeto. And this is coming out from Stefan Heuser, the Denmark under-21 coach. And he says, I think that Cheeto is integrating well into the squad. We had talked a lot about it beforehand because he's 5 years younger than sort of all the players that he's among. He's a very young man, and he's got much to learn. And we had him, and we have to assess it. He made good impression, and we are extremely pleased to see how he's adapted to the squad and how the boy has been welcomed. He has shown himself very well. He is now he's back home to continue his work with Manchester United, and if you see that, you can see him playing well there and getting more game time. So, it's really nice. Yeah, he's been integrated into the under-21s in Denmark. They're not rushing him into the first team squad. He has just started to dip his toes into Manchester United's team, which is brilliant. And I just think he speaks well of him. Sounds like a grounded kid. Sounds like he just wants to keep improving and working hard and doing all the right things. And I think he is one for the future, which is brilliant. Okay, guys, that's all your news that I have for the minute. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Keith, and this has been Total Football Talk. If you'd like to hit a subscribe on the way out, that'd be absolutely amazing. And a thumbs up would be brilliant. Please get your comments in on any of the subjects I've kind of covered. I would love to hear what you think about, about Cheeto doing well for the under-21s, Manchester United, dealing in the mid-range market for players. There was one tiny little story left about Ugarte. He's been getting a bit of stick online. I don't know why. I'm not entirely sure. I'll need to look into it a little bit further. But yeah, he's done well for Manchester United so far, and I don't think he deserves any stick at the minute. But we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.